They helped us, and even the recyclers lobbyists, they helped us with this as well, the scrap metal dealers. And then our city council staff, they were wonderful. And then the administration coming alongside to make this happen. So we're very, very excited for our community. Hopefully it will slow the theft. We've also are working in Santa Fe, and we hope that the legislation up there passes. It's looking hopeful. And then next week, the county commission is also introducing this legislation. So working together is a good thing, and I'm glad that we are getting to do this today.
You want to share anything, Lieutenant?
Yeah, I would just like to say, as part of the organized crime unit, we're very grateful that City Council took the time to come talk with us, work with us, understand the issue that's going on. That was very valuable to us. They took our perspective and they crafted a really good bill that's going to give us additional tools to combat this issue. We realize that it's a problem for many citizens, and we want to do our best to address that, and this is a big step forward for that, and we're very thankful.
Thanks so much. Well, look, I just want to add first, welcome to the family auto shop of the counselors, and this is a special place in that it's one of our Albuquerque repair institutions that's been here for how long?
70 years.
70 years. And so we're glad it's still operating and does a great job for all their customers. And also, of course, in this area of town, we happen to be in the International District. And this issue, of course, affects all of New Mexico, as the counselor said, but in particular Albuquerque. And part of it is because we do have, for good or bad, lots of places where you can unfortunately exchange these, and that's part of the issue, right, is making it less, just like with copper theft, dealing with both sides of that equation. But I really want to share a couple of things. Number one, I want to thank the counselor for stepping up in this way. This bill, we always try and work together, and as an administration we have great staff who's always working on legislation, and we talk to counselors. But the other way around is also true, and this is such a good example. She took the initiative to actually say, hey, I'm going to reach out, I'm going to try and come up with an answer. It's not the end all, but it's another tool that's going to help us. And she took that initiative, and that's leadership. That's what we need from our city councilors. And I think in general in our state is we need everyone to do their part. And this is such a good example, counselor, of her stepping up and really being a wonderful counselor for her district and trying to solve some of our biggest issues. So also, for fun, it never really is in the newspaper, but for those who are here, this is her first ordinance. So let's quickly just give her a round of applause for writing her first city ordinance. Staff, of course, for helping. So we'll go ahead and quickly sign this, and then we can certainly take some questions if there are some. But I would just also want to echo, we hope this passes at the state. That would be very helpful, especially because we know crime and especially things like this, they don't really have jurisdictional boundaries. So we dealt with this in copper theft. You really have to have a state rule. But it does help to have the county because, the city's a bit of a jigsaw shape. And so when we get the county involved, at least we can say central New Mexico has some clear regulations to protect catalytic converters that can unfortunately be very easily stolen, as the demonstration showed. So with that, let's go ahead and sign this here. Thanks for this nice table.
It's nice.
It is. So let's see. And what's today's date, by the way?
The 7th.
All right. And Lieutenant, we'll probably give you this one, or Counselor, if you want two of these, we'll you can give one to someone who helped on the bill. So with that, our catalytic converter ordinance is in place. Congratulations. Thank you, Counselor. Thank you. And that's for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go. Thanks for working on that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You so much. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Thanks for all your work on this too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Any questions or anything?
Can you briefly talk about the popularity in catalytic converters? How are they selling them? Why are they selling them? What specific vehicles are the most in stock?
What do you teach?
So catalytic converters have they have very expensive metal in them. So essentially what they're doing is they're cutting off the catalytic converters and they're taking them to metal recycling yards. So then they'll sell them, and the metal recycling yards take them because of the value of that metal. We see a lot of Chevrolets, Toyotas. Those are the most common vehicles here that we see stolen for catalytic converter, or the catalytic converter stolen from.
Is it the metal in those certain catalytic converters? So they're not like taking the catalytic converters and then selling it to put on a different car, they're just melting this metal?
Correct.
You got platinum, rhodium,
and palladium.
palladium. There you go.
Is this just the first step to try to stop the theft? Because I mean, there's been people saying that they can just go and sell them to another state.
They can. Thieves are always going to try to get around the law, but this is a first step for sure.
Yeah, and what we like about this is, in general, what happens is people usually want quick money, and that's what this is about. Like, typically, it's trying to quickly sell it, to get typically funding for narcotics, things of that nature. So if you do make it harder to sell or take a longer time, then it moves more into sort of an organized crime world, which is actually easier to deal with than just everyone going into a Smith's parking lot and saying, I'm going to cut off a converter so I can get some funding for my next drug purchase.
How bad of a crime had this become in the city? Crazy.
So I can tell you last year we had approximately 1,200 thefts reported to us, almost 1,300, and then we had another, I would say about 100 attempted, and that was just what was reported to us. So, I mean, you're figuring the reported numbers a little over 3 a day. And then we understand that there's going to be people that aren't reporting them because it's just cheaper to get it done without contacting your insurance company and those things like that. So the number could easily be 2-3 times that. So you could be seeing 10 or more catalytic converters stolen a day.
Is this forcing more of a higher price now selling to replace these catalytic converters? Is that going to be a problem, or is that going to stay stagnant?
That I don't honestly know that answer. I hope this helps a little bit.
All right, well,
We all
yeah.
know we're going to do the demo, so stick around. But Leanne, got any other last words?
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.